Islam, can you hear me, Sister Curtis Bay? Gratitude, Islamism. Give me 1 second. Okay. Can you hear me, Sister Curtis Bay? Islam? Okay. Gratitude. Excuse me, more. We'll live Islam, peace and love. We'll live it under the weather. But we on the manifest. So Islam, Moors, want to rise upon the seven within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, our Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere. And therefore, honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution, and bylaws. And honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. I want to give honors to this grand measure that we get ready to bring forth from our Father's treasures, continuing in chapter 5, Life Works of YEHOSHUA in India among the Muslims. And you can see our featured ayat is moving across the screen. He found the object of his search, engaged in building dwellings for the Son of Man. That's a powerful demonstration. In other words, what we see is that this special drawing is dealing with one looking for something or someone, so to speak, that is on the manifest, and yet they find the object of their search engaged in building dwellings for the Son of Man. Now, we can look at this from two different aspects. We can look at this as Ravana, dealing with the day star on high, or we can look at this from YEHOSHUA, finding the object of his search, engaging in building the dwellings of the sons of men. In other words, this, will become his rest haven. In other words, he feels good to do good by other people. So we're looking at it from the aspect of YEHOSHUA and Ravana, where Ravana is looking for the object of his search because he was already looking for a master teacher. And that master teacher was engaged in building dwellings from the sons of men. So looking at it from that aspect, both of them, are benefiting, so to speak, from an aspect that has to do with the building of the dwellings of the sons of men. YEHOSHUA, for example, being the mastermind, or a mastermind, so to speak, of his climb in time. He found his peace again, his solace in doing this. Instead of building dwellings for, himself and being selfish, he was about building dwellings for the sons of men, daughters too. We can say in this era and time, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, on the other hand, was building dwellings for Moorish American nationals. And we didn't even know it. And so we have found our object of search engaged in building on the soul plane a dwelling for those Moorish American nationals that are here right now. In other words, we have been searching for somebody to uplift us. We had been searching for somebody to teach us. We had been searching, for somebody to guide us. And we found the object of our search engaged in building on the plane of soul a government for Moorish American nationals. We mean this. See, a lot of people think that when we talk like this, we getting spooky. But if you go into the African tradition, you'll find that our people have always been in communication with their ancestors. There's not a book or religious text on the manifest that doesn't mention people being able to communicate with the chiefs on high, as the Quran calls them. It speaks of the 24 elders in the Bible, or the Piscean records. In our Moorish Holy Quran, we are told that YEHOSHUA went into the realm of unmanifest and he taught. He began to teach. So when one is able to, what we call cross the borderland at will, one is able to demonstrate on any plane, in any time or climb that one willeth. Especially when one will is in tune with the deific will of the great God. That's a big fact. So having this knowledge, we should be able to see ourselves the same way. If you came across a Moorish American Muslim that guided you and led you to this government, then you found your object in search, engaged in building dwellings for the Son of Men. Because every divine minister should be demonstrating that same work. In the Bible, or the Piscean records, and the Circle 7, we learn that basically what YEHOSHUA did, we can do too. We learn this in every text. So this is not a measure where YEHOSHUA is the only one that can demonstrate this work. Or Prophet Noble Drew Ali is the only one that can demonstrate this work. In fact, they all told us pretty much that we can do the same thing. So now that we have this knowledge, if we are engaged in building dwellings for the son of the Moorish American national and daughters of the Moorish American nationals, if we are here to demonstrate this and we have found the object of our search, when you say that found the object of your search, then this means that you're no longer lollygagging. You're no longer in search of, because you have found what it is that you were looking for. Sometimes, being on the plane of things made manifest, some of our people think that there's more on the manifest than what has already met their eyes. They don't know how to let well enough alone. They can find the object of their search and still be in search of. And how is that even possible? I mean, we have people go 10, 20, 30 years on a journey, find everything it is that they had been seeking, everything they prayed for, and still feel like they are in a state of want. When if you found an object engaged in building the dwellings for the Moorish American nationals, then you should be getting on the ball and demonstrating the same thing instead of thinking, that there's something else outside of your purpose and your task that you're supposed to be demonstrating. You see, we like to take these lessons and, as we say, augment them so that our family can see how these lessons are a blessing in their lives. How these lessons are on the manifest in order to make them basically what they were destined to be. The question is are we willing? We know we're able, but are we willing to do the job that we've been called to do? You see, that's the question we want to ask ourselves. What tasks have you been given? Because everybody ain't got the same task. Anybody that knows something about building structures know that you got people that deal with the framing. You got people that deal with the carpentry work. You got people that deal with the AC. You got people that deal with everything you can think of that needs to be utilized in order for one to become active, in living in a particular place, so to speak. So our question is what is our expertise? Where has our purpose guided us? And if we found out what that is, then how do we use that to build for those who are coming after us? How do we use that to lay a foundation for the generations, the young and not yet born, the third and fourth generation? How do we build for them? Or some of us may think that, we just here to deal with the selfish self. And nothing can be further from the truth, not if we're dealing with this lesson that I'm talking about now. You see? And not only are you building dwellings for sons and daughters in plural, but again, that your work is really building this government. See, we get caught up in the thought of thinking that we want to see everything unfold right now, during our era and time. But what if it's the will of the Most High that it's the next generation that complete the work that we do? Does that make your work any lesser of significance? Does that make what you were called here to do to be purposeless? No. But if you have been given a special talent or talents in plural, then it's your job to utilize those talents to aid and assist in uplifting fallen humanity. And once you're able to do that, again, like I said, finding your purpose, this is where your blessings come from. You can lay a foundation so that those who come after you pick up where you left off at. Because all of us should be training, or rather teaching or guiding those who are coming behind us, to be able to do the work. What we have learned, everything it is we've been through, we should be able to lay a foundation for those who come after us so they don't have to go through what we went through. You see? They must be able to stand upon the shoulders of giants. Remember, the work that any man does becomes a ladder by which one is able to climb up into, divinity. And so even when we leave here, this physical plane, even when we leave here, the only thing that'll be left behind are our works, acts, and deeds. Everything else will perish. Our works, our acts, and deeds, family. So We have to start understanding and recognizing that the work that we have been called to do is not a work for one man or woman. The work that we have been called to do is a work for us as a collective. And I always say it all the time. It is a lack of unity that caused our people to fall by climbing. It's a lack of unity. You know, how many times have we had leaders saying, let's unite. It's nation time. One God, one people, one nation. You know, we can go into many different aspects of it. How many times have we heard it? But how many of us have heeded the call? Because it seems like most of our people like to look at a mass parade of individuals and then they follow suit, even if they don't know where they're going. You see? They're looking for the numbers. They're looking for the numbers, family. But we got to go into an aspect of understanding if you one man or woman on the island and you got this message that has been given to you, then you obligated. You had a duty and obligation to go out there and teach your people. Because if you don't teach your people, somebody else will, but you will be held accountable for the times to come. We will all be held accountable, you know, for being negligent in our duty. A Muslim is active and not passive. So we give praises to the great God Allah that he allowed us to rise up this day and have the breath in us to be active. You know, so now that we have the breath in us to be active, what we gonna do? Do we live to eat, drink, and be merry, and that's it? Or do we live to be divine and demonstrate what meant to be demonstrated as an executive ruler of this divine and national movement? You see? Allah is definitely leading on and victory is sure. So the job will be done. The work will be done. Whether we shirk our duty or not. We don't want to be like those who came before us, though. The young and not yet born looking, saying, man, what's wrong with them Moors? We don't want to be in that situation, Muslim. We want to leave a legacy behind that the young and not yet born can be proud of. That's the goal. Because if we don't, then all the time that we've been on the plane of things made manifest, we just wasted time. I promise you, each and every one of us has a job to do. Whether we know it or not, whether we accept it or not, we all have a purpose. The Most High don't allow us to come through, the chambers of birth just to be worthless. If you here and you didn't ask to come, 9 times out of 10, you got work to do. And when we figure that out and we begin to get in line and demonstrate, then that's when everything else will unfold like it's meant to be. You ain't got to worry about who gonna do this and why that ain't being done, because it'll already be done. Praise be to Allah. So we can't say this enough, when it comes to demonstrate what we call you and I tie. And if we moving at a certain level, Allah is definitely leading on and victory is sure. We just have to be able to accept that for what it is. How many of us have been waiting for somebody else to come? How many of us have been waiting for somebody else to come? You know, they told us about Jesus, right? And if one was demonstrating a degree of al-Islam, they say a Mahdi supposed to be coming, rightly guided one, anointed ones. But when they come, then what you gonna do? They already came, and we didn't even know it because we were looking for some hokum pokum. We were looking for some, y'all already know the fairy tale European with stringy hair, blonde hair, blue eyes. We were looking for that. And so when the truth came to the manifest, we couldn't even bear witness to what the truth was because our vision was so distorted with naught. So we couldn't bear witness to the alt. Less knowing how to build dwellings for the sons of men, because you got to have some knowledge on how to utilize your tools. In the workshop of the mind, what thought is used to build character now. Make no mistake about it. You got to know how to utilize your tools to get the job done. So many of our people, they still waiting for a fantasy, a romanticizing about something to come forth like abracadabra. And I keep telling our family it don't work like that. We are the ones that exert the power at the will of our use. We are the ones that are able to come forth with saving power and save ourselves. I ain't seen nobody come and interfere and intercede for us yet. You see, so who are we waiting on? Definitely not somebody outside of the self. Our people been crying, pleading, hollering, oh me, oh Lord, they've been treating me like this sweet, low, sweet chariot. When you gonna carry me home? Goodness gracious. We can go on and on. We shall overcome. I'm black and we've been hollering everything. Chanting mantras. Even to the extent that we done made it a part of what we think is culture. And have no idea that an NBC don't have no culture. Negro, black, and colored people don't have no culture. They have the semblance of what culture is, but they don't have true culture, family. Unfortunately, I hate to be the bearer of bad news and break it to you, but we just giving it to you like it is. So all that stuff we've been romanticizing about, all the mantras we've been chanting, if nothing has come out of that, then it's a problem. It's a problem. That means that we call it on the wrong reality. That's the problem. We've been calling on different deities. Some of our people calling on Jesus. Some of our people looking at other men as deity. But we have failed to look at ourselves. We have failed to look at what we have been called to do. So we are hindering the process of our own upliftment. We in our own way. And this is because we have not yet learned to think. That's why Prophet Noble Drew Ali told the Moors if he could get them to think, then they will save themselves. How is it that thinking or thoughts can save you? Thoughts are impressed in the universe. Thought is the cause of it all, whether you rise or fall. So who is it that taught you how to think? that you wasn't thinking correct? Who is it? Who is it that taught you how to think that you is everything you think you is? And no matter how much somebody else try to teach you, you still don't accept it. Freedom right there in front of you. And you reject it. Who taught us that thought pattern? So much so to where they ain't even got to be there. How people scared to think free thoughts. Scared to think about some love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Every time you tell them, well, you know we can liberate ourselves, right? You know that we can demonstrate self-determination. Oh, man, we do that, but they're going to kill us. You see? The slave master, slave breaker, slave catcher, slave holder has put the fear of God in you. And that's why most of our people continue to go in loop mode. In ignorance. Chasing their tail, so to speak. Like a hamster in a wheel running nowhere fast. Remind me of some of them dogs when I be on my little routes that I be running. The ones that actually be in the house. You know, I literally seen, dogs, whether they was out the door too. I seen some on the chain. They can't get you, so they go to running in circles on the chain. Or they start running in circles, pouncing up on the door. Just going at 360 degrees. Just spinning around. Because they want to get to you so bad. It look crazy. I laugh when I see it. You know what I mean? But I done seen different aspects of it. But imagine us not even being on the chain. We done been released, liberated, and we still run around in circles because the invisible chain is still on your brain. That's terrible. That's horrible. I'm talking about gate wide open. Wide open now. And ones that run around in circles. Oh, let us go over here and vote. Let's start a new movement. Black Lives Matter. Let's start another movement. Run around in circles now. We can say one was moving from one spot in the egg crate to the next, but we want to get really graphic with this demonstration. Running around in circles. And then think something wrong with us because we won't do, I'm an African descendant of slave now. All right, now I ain't even African. I'm just an American descendant of a slave. Running around in circles. Then we got the gender divide. You men ain't nothing. We sisters is the ones who got the ring up. You sisters ain't nothing. We men got the ring. It's vice versa, All distraction too. Because Rome is still building Rome. I look at some of them houses when I be delivering, man, some of these people living in fortresses. Some of these people got 7, 8, 10 luxury cars in front of their house. And I'm talking about hundreds of houses. I deliver about 200 packages. Sometimes even more. But you get out there in Rome and say, man, some of them be deep off in the bushes somewhere. But how is it that they are able to amass that much wealth and you work 20, 30 years and can barely pay your rent or your car note or whatever you want to call it? So this should let you know that the deck is stacked against you. And this is a system that has been accepted and agreed upon by the Romans, and they in cahoots. Problem is with us, we can't get in cahoots. We still helping them enrich themselves. And then try to basically hoard what it is they have. Excuse me, boys. Pardon self. And then act. Because, they got a little, that's another thing. They got a little bucket up there in their yard. They'll come out in the bucket. Because they don't want you to know how much wealth they done amassed off of you being ignorant. Excuse me, boys. So they know they great, and later for you. And we come into a time where the prophet said that one day all property was going back to the government. We don't own nobody. So we ain't talking about no property coming back to the Moorish American government. Ain't no property in the government. But if you are property and you don't accept, who you truly are, you don't proclaim who you truly are, you don't proclaim yourself before the government in which you with to live, then all I can say is what they say, see you and I wouldn't want to be you. And that ain't saying we trying to kick nobody out of there. We just saying when the time comes, all you gonna hear is weeping and what they call it, gnashing of teeth, like the book of Revelation say. The chairman talked to us for years about the concentration camp. He talked to us for years about, the coffin liners. They still got them things out there. And they done used some of them in the last couple of years, whether we paid attention to it or not. So these people getting ready to try to purge this country of our people. They already been doing it. They was doing it through eugenics. They've been doing it through biological and chemical warfare. And it's almost like we have become so desensitized to where we have begun to accept the plight that has been given to us and just trying to survive within the realms, what has been established, how they say the status quo, quote unquote, right? Same thing. If you don't want freedom by now, then you destined to go to ruins as a slave. Because these people literally trying to bring physical slavery back. They're taking away all the resources that you were dependent on, our people were dependent on. Man, who coming to the aid and assistance of a Negro? Who coming to the aid and assistance of a black man, colored man? Have you seen it yet? And then we got those who are willing participants in the enslavement of our people. Willing participants. Terrible. Unfortunate. So we got work to do. I'm going to just say that there. So when we talk about the life works of YEHOSHUA in India among the Muslims, what about the life works of Noble Drew Ali over here among the Muslims? Do that really mean anything to us? What Prophet Noble Drew Ali did? Or do we want to carry this demonstration like we carried Christianity? Just a beacon of hope that one day the people recognize that I am a somebody, whenever that's gonna come, right? And I don't mean to make joke or be fun about it, but you gotta laugh to keep from, getting all bushy and tearing up and carrying on, right? So, all of us have talents, and what I'm getting at, family, is we gotta utilize our talents to liberate ourselves. We gotta utilize our talents to free ourselves, to uplift ourselves, to bring ourselves out of the condition that we have been found in. We got to, boys. It's mandatory. If not us, then who? Who you with and who you're waiting on. That's what I want to know. Who you with and who you waiting on. Your liberation is at the end of your own arm. I keep saying this over and over again. But how much do we know of ourselves? I ain't going to even say believe in ourselves. How much do we know of ourselves to know that we're being guided? Our prophet told us he's going to take his good boys up in the apparatus. For those who don't know, apparatus actually means government. He said he's going to take us up above the sun, moon, and stars around the almighty throne of Allah. So simultaneously, while he's raising us as a nation, he's going to be raising us up in our consciousness. The sun and the moon that is being referred to, if you go into the system of the chakras, it sits in your center. This is where your passion and desires at. You got to be raised up from that, above the almighty throne of Allah. Man, because that's what it takes. In order to rule a nation, lead a people, you got to be conscious of your divinity. You got to be convinced. Stop trying to convince other people, make other people believe in you, and just be you. Do what it is that you was called to do. Out of all our Moorish kid on this call, ain't nobody finna tell me or convince me that we ain't got none in our midst that are destined, to do something great. Because we done seen too many people come forth and do great things. So I don't believe that we was just put here to eat, drink, and be buried and hump the ground and die. And that's it. Oh well. Some of us catching hell, going through hellacious conditions our whole lives. We see many who have tried and failed over and over again. Some of our ancestors, I always say this right here, all they knew was slavery. When they left the plane of things made manifest, the only thing was on their mind is that they were under a slave master, being enslaved. They never got to see what we think is luxury of living right now. And we already know this ain't living either. But they never got a chance to see that. All they knew was somebody having a boot of oppression on their neck. So we owe it to them particular ones to get on the front line and get the job done. Stop playing and do what it is that we were called to do. Because if we don't, like I said, it's going to get done anyway. So have you found your object of search? Have you saw the fix? Are you fixated in this government? Are you willing to be engaged in building your nation? Are you waiting on somebody to do the work while you sit on the sideline, and then you gonna come out here and act like you was on the front line all alone? Is that what we got going on? Fake it till you make it. Is it? Because the prophet know where every good boy is along the way. So we have been prepared. We have been prepped for this job. If you here, you ain't here just by chance. You didn't just so happen to come in. You was destined to be here and destined to be great. So who gonna make you great again? With a real Moorish Americans, please stand up. Because some of our Moorish kids still think it's about trying to vote. You're gonna vote your way in the liberation, huh? Somebody gonna give you a ballot and you gonna become a free Negro, huh? I mean, that's what they tell them. And then get mad at you. Y'all the reason y'all don't want to vote. Get out there with them clipboards in front of Walmart. But if you ask somebody, well, what you think about self-determination? I don't know nothing about that right there. I'm telling you, man, it's almost like our people, on autopilot when it comes to dealing with ignorance. And don't let them think they know something. They could do it over there. They become eloquent in their ignorance. Eloquent ignorance. Out there acting like they some type of mastermind on the subject of the politics of the Romans and the European, and you still a slave. So if you know so much, why you still struggling? Why you still suffering? Since what you talk about is the most successful way, surely you've been studying it for a long time. And what good has it brought to you? Nothing. So why do you feel a need to try to bring it up in the Moorish American government then? Just go over there if you want to go over there. I'm just speaking in general. But we have those who are coming into this Moorish paradigm with a Eurocentric thought pattern, unfortunately. And they wonder why, again, we continue to fall by climbing. So we can't blame nobody else, even the European, really. We got to blame ourselves at this point. We can't blame nobody else because we in the condition that we are. We got to blame ourselves. Put the blame where the blame should be. Blame ourselves. And hopefully we can go within the self and look at ourselves critically. And hopefully it should make us want to change. If we can see self-destruction that we have brought to ourselves due to our own ignorance. It's a powerful demonstration, family. The hourglass already out. We keep telling you this here. So you think you got time. Time waits for no man. We say time never war with man will not, but longer you in the plane of things made manifest. And you are thinking on that level. You already know what it is. This is new era in time now, though. So we should have a new thought pattern. We should have a new way of doing things. We should be still in the Old Testament. We should be in a new way of thinking that transcends everything that we thought we knew before. Other than that, the insufficiency of knowledge will be your worst adversary and enemy. The insufficiency of knowledge. That's one of the 5 foes that we face when it comes to dealing with that inverted thought pattern. And I wonder where we got that from. Because is it Queen Maya and King Inconstancy? Goodness gracious. So we already know what the problem is, but we interested in the solution. We're not here to browbeat our people over the head with the truth. We're not here to critique and criticize our people in the damnation. But we're saying that we got to get active. We got to get active, family. Like the young generation say, we got to get some motion. Movement. Movement, family. Nothing in stagnation is good for us at all. We know stagnation breeds death. You see? So, this is just my drawing, family. I just wanted to get at to the family because it was put on my dial plate. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the floor so that we can hear from our family, and we just say gratitude. Are you willing to do the work? Have you found your object of search? Are you satisfied? Or you think you looking for somewhere else? You think the grass green on the other side till you find out it's asphalt. So Islam, start your phone, boys. It don't take long to get the truth. Oh, we got a couple of boys coming in. We're gonna get the first brother, and then we'll get you Islam. I think that was our brother Heru Bay, the first brother, right? Oh, Malik, that's Malik. Okay, well, okay. Oh yeah, I'm glad y'all brothers on the manifest. Well, all right, brother Heru, and then we'll get brother Malik. We know these brothers, these swift angels got something to bring. Islam, brother. And Islam and peace, brother. Yes, sir. Powerful measure. Islamism without the schism. All right. Well, our brother Malik, where you at, grand man? Praise be to Allah. And honors to you as well, Brother Malik. Gratitude. All right. Is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire? Uh-oh. Islamism. No. I didn't hear nobody else at the time.
You, this was a powerful class tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed the teachings, and you covered so much. Man, I was trying to keep up, trying to keep up in writing down, just jotting down some notes that I wanted to bring forth. And your question on the floor is: have you found your object of your search? And of course, most definitely, I found my object of my search because I was searching for the truth, and I didn't find I didn't find the truth until I found my prophet, and till I started to find out about my prophet, and till I didn't find the truth until I got into this government. Didn't know that I had been denationalized. Didn't know none of that. Didn't have a clue of who I was. But God, man, I tell you, you touched on so many powerful things, and I enjoyed how you talked about our tasks, how everyone don't have the same task, and we all have to discover what our purpose is and why we are here, and because so many times we may not realize, what it is that we are supposed to do. And we find ourselves here and there and everywhere trying to help everybody else with their dreams and their purposes and stuff. We be like that little old hammer I used to hear about when I was in the Pan Africanism, how that little hammer, he was used for everything except for what he really was built to be. Built to be. He was here helping this and helping never. But it's very important, and gratitude, God, man, for bringing it to our attention to find out what is our task, what is our purpose, what is the reason we are here. And also, you talked about we don't want to be like the Moors that was before us. I thought that took me back because I know when I was coming through, when I come in this government, my question was, why didn't nobody tell me about Prophet Noble Drew Ali? And our leaders and things of that nature, they knew about the prophet, the preachers and teachers and all of them. They knew who the prophet was, but they was making money. They was making money, and they did not want to tell us that Jesus wasn't real because they had churches full, lined it up, because they knew if they would have told us the truth, they'd have lost all that money. And I can remember a lot of them during that time. What his name? Dr. Ike, or whatever his name was. It was a bunch of them. But they knew the truth, but they did not tell us the truth. They were greedy. They was greedy for that money. And you also asked the question, who taught you how to think? And oh man, that was so powerful too. I tell you, God, man, you just got me fired up down here over all the things that you talked about. And of course, that European is the one that taught me how to think. He the one, because I didn't know who I was. He the one took everything from me. But praise the Lord, and like you say, it's time out for us to start blaming the European. Now that I know the truth, I don't blame the European no more. I'm about, like YEHOSHUA said, I try to be about my Father's business. And like you was talking, God, man, like I said, you saved so much. And then when you mentioned about you talked about how you see them little dogs. I got tickled how you see them little dogs on your route, and they be trying to get to you. Oh man, they be running around in circles. Oh, they just want to get a hold to you. And I was reminded of this story that this man, he used to have this big Rottweiler, and he would be walking, and this is a little old fifey dog. He would be behind the fence, and every time that Rottweiler would come by his house, oh, that little dog, little poodle dog, he would jump all on the fence. Oh man, he would be scratching, trying to tear the fence down to get to that Rottweiler. But that Rottweiler never would pay him no attention. He would just walk straight with his head up and wouldn't even look in his direction. He would just go on about his business. And every day, that little old dog just trying to get, oh, he wanted to get to him so bad. And then one day, he jumped up on his fence, and somebody had left the gate open. And he fell right out there up under that Rottweiler's nose. And boy, when he fell out of there, that Rottweiler, he didn't hurt him up, but he grabbed him and he shook him and just shook it and shook it. And when he got him loose from that Rottweiler, he run back behind his little gate and holler, "Who in the H left that gate open?" And he was so scared. And that reminded me of sometime how, we as people, we be that little old fighter dog. Oh, we can tear up something. We get on we be around our friends and stuff. We can talk that talk. But when we actually face with that Rottweiler, oh man, we be glad to get away. We be glad to get away from that Rottweiler. And last but not least, God man, you talked about how the prophet gonna take us up in an apparatus, and you talked about that apparatus being this government and taking us up in our minds, in our mindsets, And family, if you don't get on these calls, you gonna be thinking some crazy stuff. You have people thinking, trying to get you ready to go on some ship that's right above your head, and they gonna take you up in this big ship. They thinking that that's what the prophet meant. It's some ship that's coming to take you up out of here. But family, I challenge you that talk to your holy prophet. Get on these calls. Listen to the teaching. We're going to tell you the truth. We're not going to mislead you. We're giving you the truth. We're giving you the truth. Continue to stay with your government, and hopefully you then found your search. Because if you're here, you ain't going nowhere. If you then found your search, if the great God of love brought you here, you ain't going nowhere. And you will be about your Father's business. And that's my intention, is to be about my Father's business. And like you said, God, man, to get these teachings to our people so they won't be into some foolishness and thinking something, some ship coming back to save you. I could go on and on, but I know our Moorish King is biting at the bit. This is a powerful class, Dr. Shaheed. We can tell that Allah laid this on your heart. Gratitude, God, man, for letting me share. Peace and love.
Gratitude for the measure. And I had that series too, Sister Curtis Bay. My grandmother brought that for me. They had the Mighty Clouds of Joy and the Staple Singers and all of them. And that was the funny part. Yeah, he said, who left that gate open? Islamism without the schism. Gratitude. Yeah, we heard that one. Islam. Well, all right. Is there any other more who would like to come forward? We got plenty of time. Islam, Brother Marvin, that was Bay.
From gratitude.
You gonna see who left the gate open. Islam.
Oh yeah. Gratitude for calling me. This is Dr. Marvin Ellis Bay out of Texas Territory, rising, giving all praise to the great God of Allah, giving highest honors to his prophet, our prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give our honors to our bureaucratic government, our Morris American government. I give our honors to our Act One. I give our honors to all of our officials. I give our honors to this class, our Morris Prospectus class, as well as I give honors to you guys, man, for hosting and instructing a most powerful class, as usual, always on your post. And I give honors to all those that aided in bringing forth this class this evening. I give honors to all those that gave their measures before me and all that will give their measures after me. I give honor to everything that is Morris, and that's everything that the prophet brought to save us as a nation of people. This is a powerful class. Ayat 10, he found the object of his search engaged in building dwellings for the sons of men in Ayat 10. Now, the question, if I can get it right, you said, have we found the object of our search? Is that correct, Godman?
Yes, sir.
In gratitude. Absolutely. I'm here in this North American government. And like the God was saying, she was in search for the truth. I always saying, I'm a follower of the truth, wherever it may present itself and however it presents itself. And coming to this North American government, I knew I was at home, The first thing I noticed that I was in such a hurry, such a rush to get out of that fire, on that iron hand oppression, But when I got here, and the brother was saying, hold up, brother. There ain't no rush. You're home. And I said, right then and there, I'm saying, yeah, this is the place. You know what I'm saying? Because it made me feel at home. I had to rush. This is natural. This is where I'm supposed to be. And each day, that I'm alive on this manifest, it just, bears witness that this is the only place that I can live is in this Morris American government. And the prophet's teachings, they're so powerful. Along with our government, our chairman, and all of the angels. Someone got their line open? Anyway, yeah. It's just a beautiful thing to be here. You know what I mean? And yes, most definitely, I find the object of my search. This truth that's being brought forth and being broken down. Because, it was all too much, as the brother was saying. Because when I first came in here, man, I would open my mouth sometimes, and most of the time I didn't, because I knew, what I knew wasn't cutting it anymore, and so I wanted to listen, and I listened and I listened and I continued to listen, and I listened even today, but today I have some background because I've studied the lessons. We've gone over been through the Quran several times, many times. Went through the one-on-ones many times. And going into that book of fire. A study guide. Indeed, that's a study guide. Man, I'm so grateful for being here. God, man, it's so, I ain't gonna say comfortable. It feels so right, and every day I learn more. I was reflecting on the class last night, and when you was giving your measure, you always come out with some deep perceptions, and I didn't give a measure, but, I know when I first came in, I thought that I was always, I didn't want to be bringing no, how do they say, apples. Well, we got apples on the manifest. I didn't want to bring no grapes or whatever, something to that effect. But after listening to this class tonight, you know what I mean, we all got problems. We all have something to say. You know what I mean? Because when we're saying it, and that's another thing I was reflecting on as well. You know, it is Allah that's leading on. You know, victory is assured. A lot of times Mormons say something and you don't even know why he said it. Because that's Allah coming through. You know what I mean? And this is how I see it. Allah is ahead. I mean, He is leading on. And He is speaking to man, through each and every one of us. So, you know, if we have something that came to mind, say it. It may not sound right to some, but there is one, that certain one, that it was meant for to hear. This is what we have to always take in consideration, that Allah is speaking to each and every one of us, you know, on different levels. So, you know, we have to continue to know the truth, you know what I mean, by studying the truth and being the truth. And I was speaking with a goddess today, you know, she's showing, and she's a Christian, you know what I mean, a so-called Christian, and she was showing me something, she was doing some type of, I don't know, pantomime, you know, it was some religious thing. And at first I sort of stood back, you know what I mean, but I applied my more science on it. You know what I mean, and our people, you know, they got something to say as well. And eventually, and because I am there on the scene, you know what I mean, applying my mathematics to this, you know what I mean, and it will have an effect. You know what I mean? I may not see it immediately, but I know that many of those that say that they're comfortable where they are, I've noticed a change in them. You know what I mean? It's subtle, but I noticed it, and it was because I told them, you know, that I'm a Moorish American, you know what I mean? That I don't do the certain things that I used to do and all of that. You know, so as we continue to learn and continue to study and be a vessel, a conduit for the great God to speak to our people, because He's the one that's doing the work. Our work is, you know, bringing forth the message so that He can work, you know, and you know, it's a very powerful thing. You said we each have different talents, no doubt. You know what I mean? So we should appreciate where we are. It's just like when I was in the you know, in the Negro color flag demonstration. You know what I mean? You know, we looked at those that was in front of us, that was put in front of us as being so talented and all of this, but as if we had nothing to offer. But we got so much to offer because we're here in this Moorish American government, and they will come sooner or later, if not this time around, you know, and another time, you know, and I think something, I say, I know I've been here before, you know what I mean? Because when I'm being involved in things, I say, well, wait a minute, I don't want to go that far, because I think I was here before, and I did that same thing before, so I don't want to do the same thing again. You know what I mean? That's why I'm so passionate about being in this Moorish American government, because I don't want to do the same thing I did in those other past lives. You know what I mean? This is the last round. You know what I mean? Because we are the ones, the Moorish Americans in this Moorish American government, we are the ones to save the world as we save ourselves. And I'm going to say gratitude, God, man, for allowing me to speak. Islam and peace.
And gratitude for the speaking, brother.
Islam, are you speaking? I can't hear you.
Yes, sir. Gratitude.
Islam?
Can you hear me, grand man?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay.
Islam.
Yes, sir. Gratitude, grand man. And pardon self, I see my link didn't go out. I thought I sent it out, but I see it didn't go out.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was thinking. I said, well, yeah, I thought maybe it was my apparatus, my device, but yeah, I didn't get it.
Okay, I'll get that in there while we speak, because we still got plenty time. Okay, so excuse me, Moles. Ooh, okay, all right. Yeah, clean me up a little bit. So yeah, I'm just trying to drop this demonstration in here. I apologize to my Moorish kin. I wonder why I didn't see nobody in. Excuse me. Pardon yourself. Apologize. Okay, that should. I think. Okay, yeah, it's sent. It's still dragging a little bit. Man, fully cycled over. Okay, there we go. I think it did. Then gratitude to the family. Okay. Excuse me. Ooh. All right. Where I done got that little bug from? All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We got our Grand National Secretary of State in there. Islamism without schism. All right. All right. So, is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire? The floor is still open.
And Jeff,
Islam, brother.
can you hear me more?
Yeah.
Right?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, loud and clear. And let me, Divine Minister Dr. Abdul Hakim Sincere, again, I rise, I give perfect praise to Allah, the Father of the universe. I give high honors to our prophet who is noble then, noble now, noble all the time. Prophet Noble Ali, Sharif Abdul Ali. Honors to our Moorish American government, our officials, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and most especially our citizens. Or could you give me the question on the floor again, please?
Yeah. Have you found your object of search engaged in the building of the dwelling of this Moorish American government?
Islam, gratitude, and grand class, national sister grass sheet, because that's what it's about, is finding that essential, that's dealing with the essence. So draw that, it's knowing that Allah made us, that's the most important thing in maintaining that, getting the understanding that told us, the more that we study ourselves, the more that we would uh, achieve what life is spent to build, and that's the temple of perfected man. And so, the more that we give praise, that's why we give praises to Allah. We get honors to our prophet because we know that we're his spirit. Draw and that those spirits manifest the five highest principles known to man: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And those are the same principles, but down. Those are the same principles that our ancestors didn't honor, because they strayed after the gods of Europe, in whom we know they know nothing, and so that's where it goes back to having our own. The prophet brought us our. He is Allah's prophet, so he brought us our nationality and our divine creed. That's why in Acts 6, you know, teaches us, with us, everybody must proclaim their nationality. So that proclamation is saying, yeah, I know that I have a nationality and I have a way of life or a divine creed, and it comes from my ancient forefathers. And I just give praises to Allah that, you know, as the Moorish hordes increase, they have a government that they can go to and get the truth about Noble Drew Ali, because that's the essence of even having a relationship with Allah and Him blessing us with our own prophet who came for us over here on these shores in these days and time. Is Moorish America in 1928 when he went to the Pan American Conference. You know, we know the history of our holy and illustrious prophet, and we know that we are ancient Moabites. We inhabit the northwest and the southwestern shores of Africa. So much gratitude, National Sister Grand Sheik, for allowing me the floor. Much peace and love to all of the Moors all over the world. Peace. Right, if you're speaking, we can't hear you more. John.
Okay. Islam, can you hear me?
Yeah. Islam.
Oh man, I see what's going on here. Trying to make sure this thing stay charged. That's what it is. It's getting low. Gratitude, brother, for that droid. Praise be to Allah. Don't want it to shut down on us. All right. Islam. Well, all right. Is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire?
Islam.
Islam, Brother Muhammad Bey.
Gratitude, National Assistant Grand Sheik of Moorish America. Islam. Islam, I am Dr. Joe Hamid Muhammad Bey of the South Carolina Consulate. First, let me rise in praise of our Father, God Allah, who is the best knowing, the best arranger of all things. I give the highest honors to his holy breath, manifested in the temple of a perfected man, in the person of our beloved holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to our Moorish American nation, our Moorish American government, the officials of our Moorish American government. I give honors to our Grand National Seal, our Grand National Emblem, and our Grand National Flag. I give honors to this theocratic government in which we all live and can live. I give honors to Marcus Mosiah Garvey L., the harbinger and forerunner who prepared the way for our beloved prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to all of our Moorish kin, our visitors in the listening audience, student ministers, executive rulers, angels, mufti corps, to everyone on this Moorish Perspective StreamYard Live conference call this evening. I give honors to those that spoke before me and those that will speak after me. And I give honors to absolutely everything Moorish. And once again, always giving much love, honor, and respect to you, God, man. Always being in obedience to the directive of our holy prophet when he said we should exercise our fires, teach our people of the knowledge of their self, being Moorish American, and who made them. Grand class is always grand, man. You know, as the Moors always say, you know, when you go in, brother. So ayat number 10. He found the object of his search engaged in building dwellings for the sons of men. Like you said, Grand Man, that's a very, very profound and revealing ayat. And especially when we look at it from the perspective of the question that you put on the floor,
have I found the object of my search? You know, in listening and really thinking about that question, all my life, just short and brief, my grandfather was a man that made sure that I had reading comprehension. So what that did for me in an early age, it created a thirst for knowledge and understanding. So I didn't realize how much, but I always had this thirst to learn, to seek, and know the truth. I got to a certain point in my teens where my question was, I wanted to know God. I wanted to have an understanding of God. So that particular question or inclination made me begin to study and research, different things, metaphysics, philosophy, geometry, different histories and cultures. And, there was satisfaction. But I have to admit, there was something that was missing. And fast forward, I had met Swift Angel #1, our national grand chairman, Dr. Akhenaten Perchim Haru Tutankhamun Bey, at a meeting in Concord, North Carolina. And I shared with him, some of the things of, my journey. And he said to me, he said, well, everything that you went through was meant to bring you where you are now. Wow. And it was so unique because even though I heard what he said, the fullness of what he said had not yet fully hit me. So I'm on this journey out and, been introduced to more science and Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The first thing in terms of the object of my search was Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught me who I was. He taught me that I have a nationality. I belong to a nation. Wow. I always knew there was something more to what I was relating to in reference to myself. I always knew, but none of the studies that I had was actually giving it to me plain as the prophet did. That was the first thing. So now I'm studying the teachings. And I come across one of the divine sayings of our prophet. And he says, the same truth that drew you drives you. And that's when it hit me, family. I was like, wow. The whole time I'm searching for the truth, but I really don't know what the truth is. But I come to this more science. I'm being drawn by the truth to more science, to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, to this Moorish American government and its nation, and all of the conference calls and the divine lessons that we receive. And in the lessons, in our questionnaire, it says, well, what is truth? Answer, truth is art. What is art? Art is Allah. Oh my goodness, family. So for me, it was like what some people refer to as like a DNA explosion within, because it made me realize that the object of my search was always there, drawing me ever closer. But I didn't know. But now I know that the object of my search, because I wanted to know God, and I know that the great God is Allah. I found the object of my search. I found my identity. I found the nation that I belong to, the culture that belongs to me, my people, our nation, our language, our science. I found the object. And along with that, through further studying, I found my calling. My whole journey was always, whenever I would receive an understanding about some knowledge that I was reading and seeking out, and I got maybe just a little bit of understanding, I always wanted to give it, not boasting, because I truly wanted for my brother and my sister what I wanted for myself. So now I know that that's my calling, my first and foremost calling. And we find that in Acts 6. We are called, our duty and our responsibility, to teach, to give freely that knowledge and understanding and wisdom that has been given to us through the great prophet of Allah, Prophet Noble Ali. And then, God, man, you know, you covered so much. So that was my object. Now, everything that the prophet brought begins to make us analyze, as he says, study ourselves. So you made that one part where you said, well, who taught you what to think or how to think? And that is so unique, because it all is in that search, trying to come out that maze of those miseducations, those lies, misdirections, and deceptions that we received in this system that they call an educational system. And then we get to think, because the prophet said what? If he could just get me to thinking. So he was telling me right then and there, man, like one of the lessons says, brother, man, your thinking is wrong. And like I always say, you know the other lesson? I was sincere in a lot of things. But because I didn't have the true knowledge of self and the true knowledge of the whole truth, which is universal, I was sincere, but I was sincerely wrong. And I'm still learning, but I know who I am. I know where I belong. I chose, excuse me, to be a Moor. I recognize that that's who I am. I can't speak for anybody else, because truth is universal. It's all one and the same, as we learn in the lessons. They use different names and different words, but the truth remains the same. So now that thinking that the prophet taught me how to do, I'm able to distinguish between truth and falsehood. I'm able to see my brothers and my sisters through the eyes of love and not through the eyes of degradation, disgrace, indifference. Why? Because I too was there. So my search, grand man, I'm going to end it with this. There is no greater joy, no greater love than for one to know who they are and who made them. Because that's the number one dilemma with our people. That identity crisis, a state of confusion. And this is where you can get the clarity of who you are and who made you. We are Moors Americans. We are Moors, the original indigenous Asiatic people, the inhabitants of the planet before the 7 continents or the continental drift. So come and check out this Moorish American government at www.moorishamericangovernment.land. Get on these conference calls 7 nights a week. The number is on the website. And just listen. It never hurts to listen, because when you hear the truth and you acknowledge the truth and accept the truth, that truth will make you free. Grand class, grand man. Thanks for letting me share. Peace and love, grand man.
In gratitude for that measure, brother. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. Well, all right. There's still room for a few more Moors if you want to come in and exercise your 5. Islam. Floor is still open. Anybody else biting at the bit? All right. Well, going once. Going twice. Well, you know you're thrice blessed. Islam.
Islam. Yes, this is Divine Minister Michael Morphy in North Carolina Territory. Once again, I rise and give praise to the great God, honest to our prophet, Noble Duari, and honest to our class, honest to our divine constitution, our seal, our flag, our emblem, and everything more. Praise the Lord. And honest to you, God, man, for this thought-provoking class. And now, well, let me see. The question on the floor is: Have you found the object of thy search? Well, yeah. You know, the object of my search was freedom, and I found that freedom. I found that object of my search. You know, but the object of my search was freedom. And I found it in this apparatus known as MAG, Moorish American Government, the instructions of the Prophet in our divine constitution, being engaged in the study of self, and being here in the room of resolution where things we thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. You know, this is where the intern scrub that they may be just in the operation, that they may become the strength of Allah made manifest. And we know that the patient must be made to face and fight his greatest foe, and that's his carnal nature. You know, because when we go into the self, we find that we have many foes. And as YEHOSHUA was climbing that 12-step ladder, and he had his tools. You know, this is what we got to use on our foes. You know, because we have inconstancy to deal with. You know, we have vanity and passions and selfishness and hatred and greed and ignorance. You know, and we have to resolve these things in our minds. We have to purify our hearts and minds. We have to learn to love instead of hate. You know, and it's a process. You know that I mean, you know, it's just a lifelong journey. Um, but like you said, you know, we're being prepared, um, being the fulfillment here in the end of time and in the fulfillment of the prophecy. We are being prepared, have been prepared to do this work. But the first work, as we know, starts with the self. And, you know, not a word is lost. Time is not lost. As we diligently progress, studying ourselves, studying our divine constitution, studying our holy books, you know, this really gives us an advantage because, you know, ground has to be cultivated and prepared in order for the corn to be planted. And, you know, this is what we perceive as being prepared. So we know that we go and we grow. And we know our prophet lets us know this is a new era of time now. And we have everything it takes. He said, thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. Wow. So look at all of the trials and tribulations that we have gone through to get here and all the work that we have put in to ourselves to get right, proclaiming our nationality before the government in which we live, studying ourselves, be coming acquainted with the great God within ourselves. And we know that, you know, inconstancy is to be found most powerful in the heart of man. And we know that in the heart is where we meet our Creator. And He speaks to us in a still small voice. And those of us that hear, you know, we get still and we pay attention to what it is that is the prerogative of our nature, which we know is misery. So we know in the room of resolution, we have to prepare ourselves so that we can overcome these foes, so that we can heal, so that we can heal all of the misnomers, all the miseducations, you know, the stolen legacy. They have stole our birthrights. They have made us dependent. And our prophet comes to let us know to be ourselves so that we can once again be independent, upright, independent, and fearless. Wow. And you know, that takes a lot of work. It doesn't happen overnight. So we see YEHOSHUA demonstrating that work with his tools that he climbed that 12-step ladder. And here we are demonstrating the same thing. We climbing that 12-step ladder. And we know that 12 is the number of government. And we know that we have a government now. And this is where we obtain our freedom, obtain our sovereignty, obtain our autonomy, our independence, And this is a mighty work that we have been called to do. It's just that we have so much ignorance to deal with. You know, they say if you don't want NBC person to know anything, just put in a book, because he won't read, you know, but he'll talk until his lips turn white, but he won't take the time out to study like we're doing here on these conference calls. And you'd be surprised how 2 hours, 3 hours a day adds up, especially over time. And that gives us strength, you know. It encourages us to be our principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That lets us know that we are representing, that star in the center of our flag represents the straight, upright God man, you know, and we are the ones that manifest the light of truth to our people, to shake them up, wake them up, and get them. They're not free like they think they are, and it's up to us to demonstrate to them why they think they're free and they're not. We have been given all the tools. We have been given all of the information. You know, our prophet lets us know that he gave us everything that it takes for us to be ourselves once again. And it's good. You know, as time goes on, you see yourself progressing. You see yourself growing. You see yourself getting taller, getting bigger. And it's really, you know, a happy occasion to be here, to be able to demonstrate our freedom, our principles. So you know you can't have one without the other. You know, just those 5 points that represent love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You know, that's just being one with Allah, and that is truly a grand blessing. And this is a grand class. I like to where you have demonstrated to bring about the measure about our people being locked up in this system. But we are the ones that have understanding of the system. And not only of the system, but we have understanding of ourselves and what it is to be divine. And we know mind over matter is our divine heritage. This is what we're here to build, the temple of perfected man, through the self-mastery, mastery of our own mind first. And once this is done, we can easily break chains, mental slavery, and show our people and demonstrate to our people what it is to be free. And I'm sure once they get a good look at it and see how we shine, that will open up the doors and the windows of their hearts and minds and uplift them up out of that mental condition that we know the prophet deemed as mental slavery. So it's an honor and a pleasure to be here, appreciating, you know, what the prophet has given to us. And gratitude is my attitude. So, as we know, we demonstrate peace, love, and law. And we remain protected by our government, our divine constitution, Act 1 in full effect. Gratitude for the class, God, man, and peace and love and law. Islam.
Peace, love, and law. Praise be to Allah. So at this time, we're going to go to our officials, starting with Sister Alceta Moonell. Islam, you there, Goddess and Queen? Well, all right. No, she's about her father's business. Okay. What about our National Grand Mufti, Dr. Khonshu Mahat Herube? Islam, you there, Grand Man?
Islam.
Islamism.
That's our religion. Gratitude, Grand Man. We rise first and foremost, giving all thanksgiving, adoration, worship, and praise to our Father God, Allah, the great God of the universe, most beneficent and most wise. And we give the highest honors that we can give to his prophet. Our prophet, the last prophet in these days and in these times, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the savior of humanity. We give honors to his forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we give honors to his government. Our government, the Moorish American government, the government in which we live, according to Act 6. We give honors to the officials of this said government, our divine ministers, with angels, our mufti, our royal council, our secretaries. We give honors to our citizens, the Moorish Americans. We give honors to our flag, our divine constitution and bylaws, our Holy Quran, our Grand National Seal, our Grand National Emblem, our Book of Fire, the exuberance of the nation. We give honors to everything that is Moorish. We give a special high honor to you, National Assistant Grand Chief, Dr. Sadu Amini Ahmed Shepsuel, for bringing forth this grand Moorish perspective this evening. Give honor to all of our Moorish kin who have spoken before us, to our Moorish kin that will speak after us. We give honor to you, angels. We just continue to give the honors where they're due and honor all true and divine prophets. Yes, we give honor to our ancestors, as they have come before us, leading the way, and we are them today without doubt or contradiction, because no one has the power to change man from his descent nature. Praise Allah, praise Allah, praise Allah. And it's been a grand class, Michael. You definitely brought a grand understanding this evening for the angels to feast off of it. When we look at have we found that, what we've been searching for, the object of our desire, I say yes. And praise Allah for the prophet for, taking the blinders off so I could see. Because what I had always been looking for was really the love of my God. I remember as a young child, I remember like seeing ones in the church shouting and stuff like that and getting filled with the Holy Ghost, I suppose, if that's what was going on. And I used to wonder, like, why does God not want to touch me? Why is God not interactive in my life? I see all these ones talking about God and seeing how God influences one. But to me, it seemed like God was absent. Like in the situations that I came up in and lived through at that time, I didn't know he was with me the whole time, but it was, seeing that European, it just didn't sit right with me. It just like, where's my God? This can't be the same God that's for me that allow these ones to do my people like this. And so, praise Allah, like I said, for the prophet, because he made it simple and plain. He made it clear that that when man trying to find his guy, he got to look inwards. And so, I found my God within myself, which really solidified what I'd already thought and wished for myself, was that I didn't have to go outside. Like, no one could stand in between and intercede between me and God. I didn't need to have to go through nobody else to get to God. That God was with me at all times. And he walked with me and talked to me and looked over me. It was and is active in my life. And that's so important because when you live in this life, you find out that you can be trusted, you can be relied upon. You care truly about what's going on with you. Because everyone has their own responsibilities and thoughts in their own life that they're concerned about. And so we learn that ones come and go like the wind. But Allah is always present, is always there, and never leaves one, and never forsakes one, and is experiencing everything that you're experiencing right along with you. Trials and tribulations, triumphs, and rewards and awards, all that stuff. Allah is there for the whole time, celebrations and tribulations. And so, that gives one a certain sense of peace. It really does bring one can come to grips and to some kind of agreement with the great God within oneself about the things that you've had to experience, the things we've had to experience and go through. Then it makes life all the much worth more to living. And what is there else more the man needs to know? That God is with him at all times, that he has not forsaken one, and that all we have to do is realign our thought pattern and our vision with God, and everything else will work itself out. And as long as we can keep looking away from the Creator, and we're going to keep bumping our head. And when we can come to that demonstration, then we don't have to spend all our time searching for the love outside of ourselves, searching for the recognition outside of ourselves, searching for the accolades and things that we think is going to help fill the void within ourselves, outside ourselves, because the void is only there because one has not prepared a place for Allah to live. Because Allah don't live in no dirty house. Allah don't live in a foul thought pattern and foul way of life. And so when we clean ourselves up and clean our hearts and keep our minds pure with love and our bodies clean with water, it allows Allah to come in and fill that space. And we all, at some point, have felt empty. Because we've been programmed by this world to think that, true happiness comes from outside. True joy and love come from outside. We know, thanks to our prophet, that everything starts from the center and vibrates to the outer bounds. And, the closest place to need Allah is in the heart. And that what we demonstrate Emmanuel, and we demonstrate wisdom, is the understanding that Allah and man are one. And so gratitude for this class this evening, and gratitude To you, Morris America, for being here with us and giving us the time, attention, respect. We love you. Islam and peace.
For all that you do, praise be to Allah, Islam, ism without the schism. Gratitude. Well, all right, let us call forth our Grand National Secretary of State, Sister Sheptu Rakat Ma'at and Pooh, Tutankhamun Bay. Islam.
Islam, can you hear me more?
Loud and clear with divine ears.
Praise Allah. Islam Morgan, first of all, I want to rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our Moorish American government, all of our officials, staff, with angels, muftis, divine ministers, most especially our Moorish kin. Giving honor to all those Moors who spoke before me, all those Moors that will speak after me, giving a special honor to our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shedu Amenti, and Mohedded Shepsuel for opening our meeting according to law, and also hosting this Grand Moorish Perspectives class this evening. We want to give a special honor to our National Assistant Grand Secretary of State, Dr. Dendra Nia Bay, for taking registration and reading our subject chapter for the week. It's been a grand class. We want to give honor to all of our Moorish kin that brought forth their measures. There were so many keys that you brought forth, Dr. Shahi. Gratitude to you. And giving honor to Act 1. Our subject matter coming from Ayat 10, he found the object of his search, engaged in building dwellings for the sons of men, and have you found the object of your search? My answer would be yes, and it's constantly unfolding, constantly receiving revelation. And, you know, when I was reflecting on the subject matter and the question, we know that it's part of human nature to tend to look outside of the self and think that grass is greener on the other side, or other things outside of the self are alluring or deal with attraction to the mind. It pulls on desires and things of that nature. Even opens the door for doubt as far as where we may be along the way. But we give so much honor to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali for providing tools that we can apply in the workshop of our minds, you know, so that we can be able to combat the weaknesses that we have within our special character, leading to instability, inconstancy, misery, all of these demonstrations. And the thing about it is, it brought to mind crossing a desert in search of water, and being almost at the end of one's earthly life because they don't have water. And then finally, when you receive that water, there's much gratitude there. You know, you're able to count your blessings because of that life-giving water. And when it comes down to the truth about who we are as far as being a spirit and a part of the great God Allah, and also Moorish American nationals, one crossed the desert state of unconsciousness or mental slavery, as the prophet termed it, in search of truth, in search of the answer to the questions of why am I here, what am I supposed to be doing, you know, and what is my special purpose. So when we hear the words of our Prophet Noble Drew Ali and recognize that that is that saving power that he has brought to us, then it would be ludicrous for one to say, this is what I have searched for, gone through lifetimes of reincarnation and things of that nature, and now when I get to the actual well and receive these healing powers and these truths that can cure me from all kinds of diseases and mental slavery, why would I now get to the point of, you know what, that over there looks a little bit better, or what have you? So when forgetfulness sets in, that's a terrible foe, because now you're in a state of lack of gratitude, etc. You have forgotten the blessing that Allah has bestowed, upon you. So this opens the door up for wrath and, continued slavery. So this is why it's imperative for us to take these lessons, make it applicable to the self, and recognize the value of what it is that we have. When you put security on a thing because you recognize its value, then you're not going to let anything happen to it. You're going to protect it and defend it even to the utmost of your very life. So there's nothing strange in that, even on a manifest or a carnal level. We tend to do that. Nobody better not talk about my mother. I'll take the head. So now when it comes down to something that not only will save you, your family, your nation, etc., first of all, letting you know that you have a nation, okay? So why would we want to take these things lightly and still want to gravitate to the indoctrination of a European thought pattern or straying after the gods of Europe of whom we know nothing of? So we need to take stock, to still ourselves, to take stock in what it is that we have been blessed with, and all we have to do is demonstrate love divine, come together in unity, demonstrate the self-determination. There should be nobody standing that should be so weak that, you know what, I'm going to go over here because this is not what it's supposed to be. Well, we pray peace on that, but the thing about it is you open yourself up for a terrible doom, Morishkin, if you can't see what the prophecies have projected, and you see it being revealed in front of your very eyes. Anyone that has any sense, when you see the sword sharpening against their neck, is going to do those things that's going to protect them. But it's not found on a manifest level. It's found within the self. That's where your strength lies. So this has been a grand class. There's powerful questions when it comes down to the asking of the question, have you found the object of your search, and what do you want to do about it? So even if you find a lump of coal, until you find out what the value of it is, you hold on to that. That's common sense and wisdom. So gratitude, more, for calling me forth. Much peace and love to all of my Moorish kin. That's all.
Hold up. Islam. Islam. Grand National Secretary of the state. Powerful measure. Coming from the tribe of endurance. Let us call forth our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akinakton Pert M. Heru, Tutankhamun Bay. Islam. You there, Grand Man? Islam, can you hear me? If you're speaking, Chairman, I can't.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you go. Islam.
Oh, man. Yeah, I had to star 6 and everything, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
It's I give praise to Allah and honor to the Prophet Noble Dwell East, and much honor to everything that the Prophet brought to save us as a nation of people. I mean, this right here is right here. I'm looking at it. Who made you? Man, that's why I wrote the book, Exhuming of a Nation, and I appreciate all of you who have a copy of it, because when it comes down to the teachings of the Prophet, there was nothing greater. There's still nothing greater. I haven't been around. Oh, no, The thing about it is more that we have got to give praises to Allah for all the blessings that we have, because everyone here and everyone that know now who made you has been blessed. You are an angel. You have a divine constitution. You got a holy covenant. You got a holy Quran. And it not only that, but you're a member of a Asiatic nation that came forth to bring the blessings to save the nations of the world. And this is what it is that our job is supposed to do. That's why I like, this chapter 10 too. Deal with the life work of YEHOSHUA, among the Muslims in India. Because these some powerful lessons we are so blessed. So it's just an honor and a blessing. I'm so pumped up behind this class. It's like almost like going to Sunday school for us. First time. Thank you, Moors. I appreciate you. Islamism without a schism. Peace.
Islamism without the schism. And when I was making preparation, I could think of nothing but you saying, Chairman, what you gonna do? Shoot it or dribble it? Islamism. Gratitude. Well, all right. Well, let us call forth our National Grand Sheikh, Dr. Serapis Amin Rael. Islam. You there, Grand Man?
Close to the thought, Angel.
Man, they told me, man, you could shoot them 3-pointers like it wasn't nothing, Sheikh.
Only with the guidance of Allah.
Islam.
we try without question, without a contradiction. Let us give a lot of praise, therefore, honest to his love thought. Dr. Noble Jew Ali, everything he brought and everyone he taught. Honest to our sisters and our staff, Grand Mufti, Sister Grand Mufti, Grand Mufti Court, divine ministers, student ministers alike, and just a grand demonstration. This is add to Dr. Chaib, this beautiful presentation. And like I said, you're going to be shooting the dribble. Looking at it in that context, we see that the brother staying in the company of the elders which he was assigned to, gave us a drawing about being the guard of one's we call it his puberty, or being in the drawing of what makes the child stand up, to stand erect. Because remember, he was given a lesson to these ones as he was staying with them, and the lessons were grand presentations, the Book of Wonders. And it would say, I made the book so that we could read it together. And we read the book together, and therefore we were speaking not only as many voices, but we was only speaking as one voice. And this is why one looked at this one and was given a lot of praise, because he had given this one the lesson to be the blessing to the people. And the people unto themselves, they give the angel the blessing. This has been a grand demonstration. And it's always Allah speaks to man through man, and with a small, still voice, and he who is still will hear. So we don't be still, let the peace be still, and let the guard of Allah's fancy have his way with us. Praise the Lord. January 15th, 1929, a warning from the prophet is read in every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical agitated speeches by their home and on the streets. We offer peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cars to be repaired. It causes confusion. Remember, your car is for your salvation. Ready to obey these orders to severe consequences. We offer love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And with each principle violated, justice then must take its course. Any citizen, a group of citizens, the whole malicious feeling toward the government or the prophet or violation of the flag covenant of the Moors movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law and lay down to them by the prophet. They lose confidence in their prophet. Just turning the card and button. Just want a turban fed. and return to the state where the prophet found it. This is the everlasting movement on about the holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out a divine plea to all Moorish Americans and do their part in protecting the prophet and the government. This is the everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This divine warning is the supreme law now and will be enforced by the said government and by Islam, Islam, Islam. Ye are the children of one father provided for by his care, and the rest of one mother has given you so. At the bonds of affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers, the peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. Thy brother's university, assist him. Our sisters in trouble, forsake us.
Islam, Islam, Moors, we love it. Islamism without the schism. Islam, Moors, Islamism without the schism. We love you, Moors. And we give honors to all our family that chipped in, even the new ones. D. Miller Bay, we give honors to you. Mara Bunches. Man, we give honors to Deron the Buddha. We got the Buddha up in here, y'all. Jeremiah Bay, O'Brien. Goodness gracious. Charles Royale, Cedar Renee, man, Tyrese Bay. We love you, Moors. Y'all come bring them talents on up here in this government. Islam. Peace and love. All right.